Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about issue number 22 of Miles Morales' Spider-Man, which is a tie-in to the Blood Hunt event, written by Cody Ziegler. But before we dive into the story, I want to ask you a favor. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment to help the channel grow. So with that said, this issue opens in the heart of a city gripped by darkness, as Ryer emerges from the thick swirling fog. His crimson skin and wicked grin sent shivers through the night as he declared his freedom. For the ancient seal that imprisoned him was now broken, which led to his return. Now unfazed by the vampire lord, Spider-Man and his ally Hightail stood firm against the demonic titan. So with that out there, with a smirk, Hightail countered Rymer's demand and said a knife through his face sounds better to her. To which Rymer's cruel smile widened as he mocked the heroes and fixed his gaze upon Hightail and said, "How I have missed you, my Celeritas one. Did you miss your master?" Hightail's response was sharp and to the point as she threw her blade directly at her old master, and before he could even respond it sliced through the air and embedded itself in Rymer's head. The demon let out a guttural scream, reeling back in agony as blood spurted from the wound. So with that done, Hightail declared that she is nobody's pawn anymore. So with the first hit landed, Spider-Man and Hightail stood ready as the battle kicked off. And on the next page, we see just that, as the battlefield erupted into a full-scale war zone. Hightail, a blur of motion, cut through waves of enemies with her incredible speed, while Spider-Man swung into the fray with his sword in hand landing precise slices. Their combined efforts created a symphony of chaos as each covered the others back as they battled the vampire hordes. In the midst of the carnage, Ryer wasn't finished yet, for he returned to his feet and took in a deep breath, just to smell that Miles had been changed. So with that said, Hightail and the newly powered Miles went in for an additional attack, just to be reminded that Ryer was extremely fast. Because within seconds he was upon them and prepared to show them why his crown was never usurped. And true to his word, Ryer was in between both heroes before they knew it and stated that he didn't smell Blade around, which in his words was good news because he was unable to save them. Now just to let you all know, as of right now Ryer has no idea that Blade is currently the head of the vampire world, considering he was imprisoned for a while. But anyway, after a furious backhand, Hightail went flying as he turned his attention to Miles. And during their interaction, he offered to add Miles to his flock of followers, but of course, Miles quickly shot that down as he punched Ryer clean in his jaw. So with that hit delivered, Ryer returned to his feet and stated that Miles's newfound strength could keep him at bay for only so long. Because according to Ryer, they can try as they like, but the fact of the matter is, they cannot kill him. So as he hovered over them, he then went on to say that every moment he was freed, he could feel his strengths returning. So they must be ready, because they will find no respite, no mercy, and they will know only the dignity of his worship. So right before he could launch yet another attack, a voice called out saying that her father couldn't be there, but she believed she is just as good. And on the next page, we see Bloodline, Blade's daughter, jumping into action and kicking Ryer right in the face, sending his head flying back in surprise and knocking him off his feet. Now with a new ally joining the battle, both Miles and Hightail returned to their feet and Ryer cursed the arrival of another Daywalker. So as he prepared to attack, Brielle told Miles and Hightail that she needed them to buy her some time. And the way she wanted them to do it was by having Hightail collect the seal fragments, then have Spidey web them together. And once that is done, then she could take care of the magic words needed to put it all together. So with their marching orders given, Ryer and his forces was upon them in a blink of an eye. And just like before, their combination was unmatched, and with the help of Brielle, they were basically unstoppable. In fact, Miles was able to cut out Rymer's tongue with his sword as they were pushing them back. So as the battle raged on, Brielle spotted the shattered fragments of the ancient seal and shouted for Hightail to get to it so she could start her incantation. So with Hightail doing her thing and running full speed, Spidey continued to hold back Rymer's advancements. So with the shard pieces in hand, the battlefield became a maelstrom of energy and combat as Bloodline focused on the shards, her incantations growing louder. The light from the seal shards intensified, filling the area with a blinding glow. Ryer, realizing the danger, let out a desperate cry and said, "No, you mustn't," just before the magic within the seal took hold. Rymer's body convulsed violently as the seal's power pulled him back. "I will not be taken back," he roared defiantly, but the light enveloped him, disintegrating his form. With a final, desperate roar, Ryer was banished, but not before yet another one of Hightail's daggers found its way into his head. So following that hit, the seal did its job and neutralized him once and for all. Now in the aftermath, the team stood completely exhausted. And after they exchanged high fives, Hightail took off, leaving Miles and Bloodline all alone. Following that, a little bit later, Dracula descended upon them. Now Dracula, with his cold regal presence, stated it seems they have an affinity for stopping creatures of the night. The heroes turned to face Dracula and stated that they could have used his help, to which he responded by saying Ryer was not worth his time. So without wasting any time, Dracula lifted his hand and cast a spell to teleport Rymer's seal somewhere where no one could tamper with it. So with that dealt with, he turns to Brielle and asks if she has the stomach to do what needs to be done. To which Brielle stated her father hammered in her head to do the right thing no matter what, so if it came down to it, then she would. Now this was exactly what he wanted to hear. So with her mind made up, Spider-Man stated that she didn't have to do it if she didn't want to. But at this point, from Brielle's perspective, there is no turning back. Now Dracula went on to say that he admired Miles's attempts at a peaceful solution, but the only thing he will find on their path is death. So after a small incantation, Dracula opened a gateway to another part of the city. Another part of the city where the vampire hordes were currently flooding the streets and attacking all before them. So with the chaos playing out before them, Dracula asked if they are ready to do battle, to which they said yes. And without a moment of hesitation, the two young warriors leaped into action and followed Dracula through a swirling portal. And once they exited the other side, the three warriors jumped right into the action as Dracula said, "Then let this fight be done as this issue of Miles Morales Spider-Man comes to an end." Now with this conclusion, I will say this one was much better than the Doctor Strange tie-ins, of course, but not better than the Midnight Mission and Black Panthers. Because at least this writer did an okay job at staying on topic, for the most part, while still being able to tell his own story. Now I will say his little side mission with Hightail was a little pointless, but it did eventually loop back in with Brielle deciding to help in the battle against her father. Because unlike Doctor Strange tie-in issues, both Miles comics so far involved the key players. But anyway, like I have been saying in some of these tie-ins as of late, I can't wait until From the Ashes starts, so I can dive back into what I consider one of the pillar stones of Marvel Comics as a whole, the X-Men. Now with that out there, if you want to stay in the loop about any individual storyline, then how about you hop over to the playlist section down below or in the link cards above to get all caught up on the Blood Hunt event. So with that established, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.